Hello, girls, guys, weirdos, and earwigs. So, I'm watching Blink twice, and this is what I'm thinking. My thoughts. People are individuals, okay? Spirits are individuals, okay? I've been really trying to wrap my head around this concept, and it's been very depressing, let me tell you. But I was watching this video earlier today, and they were talking about Meg Thee Stallion and Chloe Bailey and Beyonce, and how there's a lot of weirdness. And I thought, well, maybe it has something to do with Solange doing the, witchcraft. Storm Monroe talks about that, how she has publicly come out as a sorceress. But then I thought, life is never what you think it is. A lot of times we like to look at a situation or to put it another way, we like to judge a book by its cover, right? And we don't want to put any more thought into it. Just judge the book by its cover and move on. But then I thought, I remember the time when Michelle had this song called When God Says Yes, Nobody Can Say No. And this is her song off of her album. And how Beyonce acted. Beyonce acts weird all the time. There's been times that I've seen her in pictures, especially with Puffy, where it looks like her whole head is shaved. And she's just got kind of like a wig on top of her shaved head. And she wants the shaved hair to kind of look like baby hair or whatever. It doesn't. Go back and look at those pictures of her with Jay-Z and Diddy. At the beginning, they used to be in pictures all the time together and looked like her head had been shaved. Somebody said that Jay-Z used to put hands and feet on her, and Matthew had to say something about it. Weirdness. A lot of weirdness. Then I noticed how different people and their weirdness start to echo each other. It's like repetition, different people doing the same things, different people saying the same things. And I thought about the pigs. Let me know if we're in tune in the comments below, okay? This is coming out of my mouth. Let me know down below if you knew that this is where I was going, okay? The pigs. There was a whole gang of them. And Jesus expelled the demons out of this demon-possessed man, and they said, we need to go into another vessel. Okay. And Jesus asked him his name, and he said, my name is Legion, for there are many of us, right? And he compelled Legion to go into the pigs. I think this is a source where a lot of Muslims don't eat pig, pork, but whatever. Sidebar. So, when these demons went into those pigs, what happened? Okay. They all went off a cliff. Now, reel it back to me. Come back to me. Come back to me. Jesus allowed Legion to go into the pigs, and they did not disperse, going every which way. They acted like one organism. They all, in unison, together, went off the cliff, running together in the same direction, and not one of those pigs hesitated going over that cliff. Okay, now think about it. The music industry, right? And in any industry, the CEOs, how come all of them are in lockstep? How is it that they're all doing the same thing? Because humans don't tend to do that. Even when it comes to the frats and the sorors, they all are doing the same thing. When they're doing their little, I call it patty cake, but it's stepping. They have the same routine. They say the same things. They take the same pledges. They sign the same documents. They go through the same procedures over and over and over and over again. They have a org chart and hierarchy that never innovates. It never changes. It's always the same. And if you're not a frat or a soror, you're a what? GDI, a goddamn individual. And when it comes to the unclean spirits, as in the example of the pigs, they are not goddamn individuals. Oh no, they are in lockstep with each other. They are doing the same thing, and usually in unison. How is it that every famous person goes and get Ozempic at the same time? How is it that every rich person is getting Botox and lip injections and all of these things? They're so vain all at the same time, right? Here's another thing. The origin of the demons is that they were the fallen angels that came down with Satan, right? But those bad boys were locked in chains until Armageddon. So the watchers are not the ones that are compelling husbands to kill their wives and rape their children and kill strangers and put the head over here and the body over there and the clothes over there. And no. And here's the other thing. Serial killers are out there together. They communicate with each other just like pedophiles do. They are connected. They are doing stuff unified. Here we go. In the Bible, Legion is the name of a collective group of demons possessing a man in the region of Gerasenes. When Jesus asked their name, they replied, "My name is Legion." They did not say our name. Our names are. They gave Oh, I'm creeped out, y'all. I'm creeped out. Listen. When Jesus asked them their name, they replied, my name. Not our names are. And then give the litany of the names. The unclean spirit said, our name is, for we are many. Oh, y'all. So I'm going to go back to this fame thing. These people who call on these entities, these spirits, to give them success, to give them money, to give them fame, to give them whatever it is that they're asking for. And they all do the same thing. They have the same hairstyles, the same clothes. All the singers, no matter the genre, come out half naked. Even Taylor Swift was wearing a booty pad. I'm telling you, y'all, you've got to be under the influence of something other than yourself. You are not a GDI. You are not a goddamn individual. Matter of fact, when it comes to all the secret societies, the Masons, they all go through the same degrees. You can't go from the first degree to the 33rd degree, right? When it comes to certain practices, these are family practices, okay? It is not something that you pick up from a book or you learn off the internet. This is something you are born into. And when you try to represent yourself as something, I'm not saying a name. When you try to represent yourself as something, a belief system, and you were not born into it, the ones who are that by blood got a problem with you. Because this practice is a family practice that goes back generations upon generations upon generations. Okay. So I'm thinking all these things as I'm revisiting Zoe Kravitz's movie Blink Twice. In the movie itself, there were so many rules that were broken, okay? As workers at this event, after you are finished working, you do not go change into street clothes or into gowns so that you can rub elbows with the guests or with the customers. That is a no-no. That's a no-no. The other thing is, this famous person that you just are seeing there tonight says, do you want to come to my island with me? And you answer them yes. That is a no-no. And then number 3, when you get to the island and the personal assistant wants your cell phone and you give it up. And they all did it. We're getting back to my point. They all did it. They all complied. Nobody asked any questions. Nobody resisted anything. They all, just like all of those pigs, they joined together and ran off the cliff together. They all did the same thing together. Not one pig, not one little babe the pig, anybody, not one of them resisted. And that's what I'm trying to say. Even in this movie, I'm going to keep on watching it, but this is what just came to me. And I said, let me pause this movie and let me come and let y'all know where I am, okay? All of these girls that are on this island with this stranger, and there's starting to be some repetition. I brought up a video, Chloe Bailey, and I think it's called Like I Do or something like that. Anyway, the way that she did her hands, the way that she was dancing and all of that, it was just like Beyonce, but more vulgar, because she was gapping her legs open and stuff like that. I've never seen Beyonce do that, but I haven't seen everything. They showed a set piece of her show, Renaissance, where this huge red light was in this opening, and where the dancers and stuff come out, and then they had projected legs on both sides. So like the opening for the dancers and stuff to come out of was like a big giant crater where the center of a woman's legs would be, that part of a woman's anatomy. And then they projected legs. If you've seen that set, let me know. But it's in Renaissance. And if I can remember what song it's on, I can't really remember it right now. But it's one of the setups for her set. She wasn't on stage performing. It was kind of like in between. She must have been backstage changing or whatever. And it wasn't during the Cowboy Carter tour. It was on the Renaissance tour. Okay? Y'all, let me tell you something. This thing is not a game. This thing is not a game, okay? I'm learning more about A$AP Rocky. I'm understanding that he grew up in a homeless shelter. He did not have a home as a kid, and he was in the shelter for years. It makes me understand a lot more things, how he doesn't have a set of guidelines and rules like a lot of people, which is good. He's a GDI. He's a goddamn individual, okay? The last time I saw him, he was giving a video and had a big old pink purse, Lord only knows what he saw in the shelter, but of course it was a family shelter, so there had to be other kids and mothers and stuff like that was in there. So a whole different experience, and I would love to read his memoirs, okay? But when I look at the type of outfits Rihanna used to wear, the type of outfits that Beyonce would wear, she got Blue Ivy dressed in the same way. What I like about Northwest is she has her own style. I like the blue hair. I like that she has the black grill. She is an individual. This is important. Now, when it changes, because when you look at all of these people, and there's a lot of them, they all look the same. They should not. They should not. And when you've got a whole group of people that are saying the same thing and doing the same thing, and they feel the same thing about the same, and they do the same gestures, and when I was coming up, that was called a cult. Okay? But today, I think that we've gotten to another level where it used to be that just like Legion was in one man, but when they were expelled from that one man, they went into a herd of pigs. So that tells me that Legion can do either or. They can possess one vessel, or they can split themselves up and be in many vessels or bodies but they're all doing the same thing, honey. They are all on the same program. And this goes on to say how they talk. My name is Legion, like what we have today. How do you identify she, her, he, him, them, they? One person can identify themselves as them, they. Yet, when they say pronouns for themselves, like them, they, Legion said, my name is Legion, for we are many. The term highlights an overwhelming multitude of dark forces. This incident, to show you how interesting this is, it didn't just impress one of the disciples, but three. It's in the Gospel of Matthew, the Gospel of Mark, and the Gospel of Luke. And I believe when we see these people, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Are you seeing a GDI or are you seeing something else? Open your eyes and really see. Open your ears and really listen. Listen. Legion. Unclean spirits do not die. They don't die. When the pigs went off the cliff, they died. But the unclean spirits did not. The earliest version of this story exists in the Gospel of Mark, described as taking place in the country of Gerasenes. Jesus encounters a possessed man and calls on the demon to emerge, demanding to know its name. An important element of traditional exorcism practice is to find out what the entity's name is, right? He finds the man is possessed by a multitude of demons who give the collective name of Legion. I knew this already, and I've heard it many times, but it's clicking. For some reason, it's just clicking today. It was just like at the right time and moment, this information unfurled before me, and I was able to receive it. And I want to share it with you guys. Not all of you will get it, but in time you probably will. But listen. He finds a man is possessed by a multitude of demons who give the collective name of Legion. Fearing that Jesus will drive them out of the world and into the abyss. They beg him instead to cast them into a herd of pigs on a nearby hill, which he does. The pigs then rush into the sea and are drowned. But notice it does not say that Legion is drowned. Let me ask Gemini. Do you know where Legion is right now from the book of Mark, Luke, and Matthew? Y'all ready? In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Okay. Based on the New Testament accounts of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the man possessed by the legion of demons was healed by Jesus, which is located on the eastern shore of the Sea of Galilee. Okay, the eastern shore. However, if you're asking where Legion is right now in a spiritual or physical sense, according to the text, the scriptures give a very specific account of what happened to them immediately after their encounter with Jesus. Okay. They went into a herd of 2,000 pigs. The herd rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned. Where are they now? The demonic forces, Legion. This is what I don't like. I don't like that they keep referring to demons, these spirits, as demons, when I know that they're not. That is not what they are. The demons are the watchers. Unless the watchers are a group, and then these demons came from, I don't know, what is the origin of demons? I guess I should ask Gemini that next, but let's find out where they are. Because the swine they inhabited immediately drowned in the Sea of Galilee, biblical narrative and theology implied that the spirits were disembodied once more. So instead of them going to immediately disembodied, they went into the pigs. The pigs drowned, so that took a minute. And then they were still disembodied, so then where did they go? So this is, they ultimately faced the judgment of the abyss that they fiercely feared when confronting Jesus, the healed man. As for the man who carried Legion, he was left entirely free. Okay, so let's ask, are the demons the watchers? Are the demons and the watchers the same entities? And if they are, who are the principalities that we face every day? I'm telling you, honey, just like the human world is so diverse, the spiritual world is very diverse. It's very diverse. Okay. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to take a break, y'all, soon, but here we go. We finally getting some clarity. Here we go. The Watchers are a high-ranking order of angels who were the fathers. Okay, they are rebellious angels, the Watchers. As detailed in Genesis 6 and expanded heavily in the book of Enoch, a group of these angels led by figures such as Semyaza and Azazel left heaven, descended to earth, and mated with human women. This is where, okay, this, come with me, okay. So the demons, the Nephilim, the giants, the men of renown, the creatures who all of these other creatures were named after. Zeus, Osiris, Neptune, all of these gods and goddesses were the Nephilim, which is the offspring. When the Watchers mated with the humans, their union produced the Nephilim, unnatural giants who terrorized the earth. Okay? Gemini is saying that this is who the demons are, the Nephilim spirits. Okay? When these giants died in the great flood, their human bodies perished. However, their immortal, corrupted spiritual halves remain stuck on the earth. A fate worse than death. Ergo, the vampires. Ergo, the, what is they called? These hairy beasts, man wolves, werewolves, and all of these other immortal spirits. Oh my God. I told y'all, listen, they still have the ability to possess human bodies that are not sanctified, that are not, and there are people, I gotta take a break. I gotta take a break soon, but there are people who invite them into their vessels, who invite them. Remember when Beyonce said that she knew that that was going to be the night that she was going to be coming out, and she made that gesture that I'm not going to make, where she felt this thing come into her? Y'all. Honey, this ain't nothing to play with, because they were vicious. They even started eating each other. They were the hybrids. During the flood, and there were some giants who lived, like the ones who are of the ocean, Poseidon, Neptune, these mer people. They're hybrids. The centaur. This world is very complex. In short, Watchers are fallen, chained. Angels, they have been on lockdown since they got with the women and taught them this, that, and the third that they wasn't supposed to know. Even makeup, boo-boo. They have been chained ever since. They are not the demons. The Watchers are not the demons. The demons is this other thing. The hybrids. The demons are the disembodied spirits of the Watchers' fallen offspring. Now, here's my second question, because like I said, it's not a 1-2. It's very diverse. It's very complex. Okay? The principalities. Okay? And with the principalities, they all have their own region, districts, neighborhoods that they control. Okay? This says in Ephesians, when it comes to daily spiritual warfare, the Apostle Paul provides the definitive blueprint of the spiritual hierarchy. Okay? Ephesians chapter 6, baby. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. We don't wrestle against other humans. It's the spirits that's within these humans. Okay? Against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This just came to me. Want to receive it? Here you go. When it comes to voting, that's why your vote matters. You are giving permission to the candidate that you want, who is going to represent you on the federal, county, city, state levels. When they go into those chambers, it is like we are legion in that representative. He is representing all of us who cast our vote for that person. That's why voting is so important. That's why they don't want education. That's why they want people who will blindly do whatever they say, just like the pigs who did not resist legion but went straight over the cliff. Zero non-compliance to their own death. Understand that this is the destination of those who allow legion to embody them, who give their bodies as a vessel to legion. It is death. It's not money, fame, and glory. Ultimately, it is total destruction. And guess what? Legion goes on. But the host dies. I was just looking at the presidency of Reagan and how it lines up with Trump. I looked at how the supporters of Reagan were about Reagan. And I looked at how the supporters of Trump is about him. I looked at the fact that his wife was into hocus pocus and the spiritual and the, yeah, girl, divination. And I guarantee she wasn't born into it. This thing is deep. It's deep. And do you see the way that Legion got permission? I'm gonna say it again. Legion got permission to go into the pigs. And they got permission from, okay. Oh my God. That says to me that what is happening to Beyonce, Jay-Z, all these here other people, Trump, his kids, and even myself, it is happening by permission. It is by permission. Now, the only difference is, here's where the question is. Is it permission to be to ascend, or is a permission granted for dissension? Life or eternal death, eternal damnation, eternal separation from the creator of all, the real power. And let me tell you, okay, you got it. You got it. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Principalities are archai, Archai. High-ranking cosmic rulers assigned to govern whole nations, governments, cultures, and geographical territories. They influence global agendas, systems of oppression, and systemic corruption. Powers. Exousia, authorities. The operational forces that carry out the decrees of the principalities. They represent the localized spiritual authority to execute evil, driving societal mindsets, institutional greed, and systemic injustices. The rulers of the darkness, Cosmocratoria, entities that specifically target the human mind and soul through blindness and ignorance. They govern the deception, lies, ideologies, and false philosophies that keep people from seeing the truth. Now, this is their job. Oh my God! You can't get this even if you wanted to. You have to have permission to be able to get this, because there are rulers of darkness whose whole job is to keep you asleep, to keep you in darkness, to keep you bound in ignorance. You can't receive it unless you have permission from the one who rules over the rulers of darkness. I'm going to take a break. Hold on. Let's go for the next one. This is spiritual wickedness. This is the pneumatica ponerius, the atmospheric spiritual forces. These are the ones in the air. The atmospheric spiritual forces of malice, operating behind false religions, spiritual manipulation, and deep-seated moral decay. I know some, that's okay. Okay. Just stay with me. Stay with me now. I'm wrapping this up because I got to go take a break, okay? Then I'm going to try to finish watching Blink Twice. Okay. The everyday reality. While demons generally deal with the localized personal torment of individuals, they inflict sickness, fear, addiction, and personal chaos. The principalities are the heavy hitters. They operate in the background of media, politics, economics, and cultural shifts to sway entire populations away from the principles of love, truth, and light. But this is their job, because it ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. And you will hear the chosen, the chosen, the chosen, the chosen. And you think that that is the secret societies and all of that, but they're not, because they are like the pigs. They are all in unison. They all comply. They are not individuals. And if you remember, Yeshua of Nazareth was a GDI. It was not a frat. Oh my God. The principalities are the heavy hitters, and their job is to make sure that you do not get love, truth, and light. Being woke is not a choice, honey. You gotta have permission. You have to have permission to get it, because there are the principalities that their whole job is to make sure that the unworthy do not receive. According to scripture, the daily antidote to these overarching principalities isn't fighting them in our own human strength, but daily anchoring ourselves in the full armor of God and operating through the absolute authority of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Through Yeshua of Nazareth's name, we pray. Lord, receive our prayer. Selah. I'm going on break. Bye.